praise we shall hear. After the shadows there will be sunshine. After the frown, the soldiering smile. Cling to the Savior, nothing forever. All will be well in a little while. When any someone in time of grief, someone might cheer to be. Jesus anxious for he gives relief. He is the best for me. I choose Jesus when I need a friend. What I need, I know that he will stand. I have proved him good and true is he. I choose Jesus. He is the best for me. In sorrow I wandered, my spirit oppressed, but now I am happy, securely I rest. From morning till evening glad carols I sing, and this is the reason I walk with the King. I walk with the King, hallelujah. I walk with the King, praise his name. No longer I roam, my soul faces home. I walk and I talk with the King. I've heard of a land of joy and peace and wonderful light, a beautiful place of mansions fair and skies ever bright, where all who believe the Savior dear forever shall stay, and having been saved by grace divine, I'm going that way. I'm going that way, I'm on that way, I'm going that way, I'm going that way. And Jesus the Savior I adore is with me each day, is with me each day. I cling to him, and never to stray, Yes, sing his praises all day long. I'm going that way, I'm going that way. Sweet is the song, I am singing today. I'm redeemed. Trouble and sorrow have vanished away. I have been redeemed. I'm redeemed. By love divine. Glory, Christ is mine. All to him, I now resign. I have been redeemed. Jesus the Lord laid his glory aside, sinners to save and make whole. Freely he died our transgressions to hide. What is he worth to your soul? What is he worth to wonderful there? Won't it be wonderful there? Having no burdens to bear over there, joyously singing without bells or ringing. Oh, won't it be wonderful there? When in the better land, before the bow we stand, how deeply grieved our souls will be. If any lost one there should cry in deep despair, you never mentioned him to me. You never mentioned him to me. You helped me in mortal light to see. You met me day by day, and knew I was astray, yet never mentioned it to me. Sweetly I trust in my Redeemer as I go singing on my way. So happy am I. Yes, so happy now. Yes, happy am I. Very happy now. Ever I know that He is with me, keeping my soul from day to day. So happy am I. Happy now am I. Yes, happy am I. Yes, happy am I. Happy am I with my Redeemer, singing along the homeward way and telling the lost of His great mercy. Happy am I to know He's with me, heeding His wonders day by day. I'm happy along the way, along the journey. Blessed be the tie that binds our hearts in Christian love, the fellowship of kindred minds is like to that of love. Before our Father's throne, we pour our ardent prayers, our fears, our hopes, our aims, our one, our comforts and our cares. If for the price we have striven, after our labors are o'er, rest to our souls will be given on the eternal shore. Oh, the soul of the soul, blessed nations of blessed, free from all care, and with Jesus love no years alive. Oh, soft in the storm, we are sighing for thee. Beautiful home of the ransom beside the Christmas to the crystal sea. From dust of God, created man, He is our God, the great I am.
Good evening. Welcome to Singing Sunday, brought to you by the Jurong Church of Christ. My name is Paul Go. Once again, very happy to be sharing this platform with you. Alright, so this evening we'll be looking at hymn number 653. Okay, I'm not sure why I'm... Okay. Right, sorry about that. Yes, okay, 653, The Way of the Cross. Okay, and it's written by Jessie Brown Pounds and composed by Charles H. Gabriel. Okay, and of course this is taken from the Praise for the Lord hymnal edited by John P. Wiegand. Alright, so if you're joining us this evening, just like to encourage you to drop us a note to stay high. I'd like to, again, if you're joining us the first time, welcome to Singing Sunday, and trust that this will be beneficial to you. Alright, so let us now look at the hymn in its entirety. Right, The Way of the Cross. I must needs go home by the way of the cross. There's no other way but this. I shall never get sight of the gates of light if the way of the cross I miss. Second verse. I must needs go on in the blood-sprinkled way, the path that the Saviour trod. If I ever climb to the heights sublime, where the soul is at home with God. Verse 3. Then I bid farewell to the way of the world, to walk in it nevermore. For my Lord says, come, and I seek my home, where he awaits at the open door. And the chorus. The way of the cross leads home. The way of the cross leads home. It is sweet to know as I onward go. The way of the cross leads home. Alright, let us now sing the first verse.
I must needs go home by the way of the cross. There's no other way but this. I shall ne'er get sight of the gates of light if the way of the cross I miss. The way of the cross leads home, leads home. The way of the cross leads home, leads home. It is sweet to know as I onward go. The way of the cross leads home.
Amen. Certainly, what a beautiful message as penned by Pounds. Alright, so let us dive into some of the details of the hymns. Right, so as mentioned, the songwriter is Jessie Brown Pounds, and in case you find the name familiar, yes, we just had one of her hymns last week, and then even on the 1st of May. Okay, so last week was Jesus is Calling. Okay, and the 1st of May we looked at Are You Coming to Jesus Tonight? Okay, so Jessie Brown Pounds, okay, was born in Ohio, right? And as a child, okay, he didn't have he was suffering from ill health. Okay, so primarily was taught at home, and he began to write verses, right, for the local newspapers and those religious weeklies. Okay, and soon he was noticed by Fillmore, right, the famous Fillmore, the publishing company editor. Okay, and that's where it began the relationship. Okay, and this evening, this particular hymn, okay, is composed by Charles Hutchinson Gabriel. So again, is no stranger to us, and maybe you can consider him as a prince of gospel song writing. So he actually composed some 7,000 to 8,000 songs. Okay, and of course many of which are featured in our 21st century hymnals. Okay, and including this Praise for the Lord hymnal. In fact, we have some 18 hymns that's either composed and or written by him in our hymn book. Okay, include familiar favorites such as All Things Are Ready, God is the Prodigal, I Stand Amazed, Just a Few More Days, Stand the Light, and so on and so forth. Okay, now as for some of the technical aspects, okay, you can see that the hymn is written in the key of A flat. Okay, the 4 flats over here, A flat, Okay, B flat, E flat, A flat, and of course G flat, D flat. Sorry. All right. So this is the A flat major. Okay. So the triangular note. Okay, the do. Okay, is on the A flat. Okay. And the range wise, okay, is fairly on the maybe a slightly wider side. Okay, the basses you go down to an A flat. Okay, and the sopranos, okay, you do go up to an F. Okay, and then over here as well. Okay, and furthermore, it's like a kind of like sustained. Okay, but it should be pretty much comfortable for the sopranos. Okay, so the time signature, okay, is 4/4. Okay, this is quite well known, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, simple 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and it begins. This hymn begins on the 4th beat. Okay, so it's like what we call an anacrusis, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, all right. So for the song leaders, okay, you might want to give a preparatory beat. Okay, in terms of 3. So 3, I must needs go home by the way of the cross. Okay, and so on and so forth. Okay, now the tempo wise, I would say that this hymn can be sung in quite a variety of tempi. So again, if as we mentioned on previous occasions, if you want to kind of like establish a more somber mood, okay, you could probably take a little bit slower. Okay, probably so anywhere between a crotchet to 90 to about 100, even as fast as 130. Okay, so as mentioned on previous occasions, also dependent on the acoustics of your auditorium, right? So if it's a more lively acoustics, okay, you might want to take a slightly slower tempo, and vice versa. Okay, if it's a more drier acoustics, you might want to take a faster tempo. So in terms of mood, right, I think it's pretty obvious from the writing, right? So indeed, as Jesus said, I am the way, okay, the truth, and the life. Okay, John 14:6, right? So this is really a confident declaration, okay, of the pathway of Jesus, okay, the way of the cross. Okay, and it certainly gives us great comfort that as long as we stay on the straight and narrow, okay, we will reach our eternal home in heaven. Okay, and that is the ironclad promise that Jesus has given us. Okay, now in terms of other technical music aspects, okay, probably one of the things that deserves the biggest highlight, okay, in terms of the technical aspects is the contrasting rhythmic patterns. All right, so you can see there's a mixture, right? You have the dotted rhythm over here, the skipping rhythm. Okay, I must needs go home by the way of the cross. Okay, very crispy kind of skipping rhythm. And then, excuse me. And then when it comes towards the close of the verses, okay, just before the chorus, okay, then this Gabriel, okay, threw in a straight rhythm over here. So, if the way of the cross I miss. Okay, so again, as I mentioned on previous occasions, okay, sometimes the composers, okay, make use of all these musical motifs, okay, to highlight the meaning, right? So there's been all a while this kind of skipping along the way, kind of a mood, and then suddenly it becomes a little bit more maybe serious, if you please, and more kind of stoic, right? If the way of the cross I miss, right? Well, could he have done if the way of the cross I miss? Certainly he could have, but just by that small tweak, it just suddenly turns our attention on the cross, right? Which is really our focus, right, of the hymn. Okay, and then in the chorus, okay, similarly. So it's an even tighter mix. So the way of the cross leads home, and then the basses come in, home leads home. So again, a very stable home leads home, and then almost as if in response, hey, the sopranos and the altos respond, the way. Okay, instead of skipping rhythm, now it goes back to the straight one, the way, and then way of the cross leads home. Okay, so again, the mixture there. And then towards the end of the chorus, It is sweet to know as I onward go. Okay, it's almost like a really a firm declaration and affirmation. Yes, okay, it is sweet as I on. Okay, it's like a very steady plowing on. Okay, on the way up cross. Okay, so I think that is probably what Gabriel had in mind when he switched it to the straight quaver motif. And then finally it comes back. The way of the cross leads home. So again, showing the cross contrast, and once again brings our attention back to the way of the cross. Right. So I thought that was some clever use of the contrasting rhythmic patterns. Okay. Again, as we mentioned, it's really to serve the music, right? Is to serve the lyrics. Okay, and it's really to bring out the meaning in the of the lyrics. Okay, and just a little bit of musical aspects. Okay, notice that especially towards the end, okay, you have extensive use of the pauses. Okay, so again, the pause, okay, is this symbol over here. Okay, it looks like an eye, right? I mean the eye. So when you see this song leaders, so it's at your discretion. Okay, however long you want to hold it, but obviously not out of the world long. Okay, so and especially there are two right after another. So you probably want to make the second one a little bit longer. Okay, and although it's not written here, okay, it's kind of also implied that you can also apply a ritardando towards the end. Okay, as you have heard in the example. Right? Okay, so now let's dive right into the parts. Okay, I'm pretty sure this is not probably even a familiar hymn. Right, but maybe it's a little bit too familiar. Okay, as I was recording, I realized with horror. Okay, one of our members pointed out to me that all along I actually been singing the wrong bass part. Okay, so I will not plant an earworm in you, a wrong earworm in you. So you'll just be singing the correct part today. All right, so same goes with the melody, the soprano part. Okay, there's some things you might notice that's a little bit different from what we're doing. All right, and that's because we are trying to stick to exactly what Gabriel had written. All right, so sopranos. Okay, our pitch A flat. Do so. Okay, so straight away is so la do. Okay, be careful, So it's instead of any other thing that you might have heard or are used to, it's so la do. Okay, so la do. Okay, I must needs go home, and then re do mi and then mi fa mi. All right, so be careful of that. So re do mi fa mi. Okay, and of course, take note of the crispy, crunchy rhythm, right? There's very the strong skipping effect. Okay, must be there. Okay, once again. So excuse me. So 1, 2, 3. I must needs go home by the way of the cross. There's no other way but this. All right, so here's another one. Okay, you might be thinking of something else. Okay, but as it is written is re do ti do fa la so. Okay, so be careful about that. Okay, and then also, even though there is a kind of like a, it is written as a dotted quaver and semi-quaver, okay, which is very sharp, very crispy. Okay, but over here, so, do mi wave of the cross. There's no. Okay, so this is not. It is the same proportion, right? But it's a dotted crochet and a quaver. All right, so perceptively, it's a bit longer, and obviously, in actual value, it is longer. Okay, but just be careful not to double dot it. Okay, so it's me wave of the cross. There's no other way but this. Okay, so be careful about that. Okay, so song leaders and sopranos, please take note. And once more from the beginning of the page. Do so 1, 2, 3. I must needs go home by the way of the cross. There's no other way but this. Yes, that's right. Okay, let's carry on. Yes, so we ended with a so, la, so, and back to do, okay, do, re, do, mi, re, so, ti, la, so. Okay, let's try that. Do, 1, 2, 3. I shall never get sight of the gates of light if the way of the cross I miss. Yes, alright, so be careful. Okay, it's a contrasting between the skipping rhythm as well as the straight rhythm over here. Okay, and let me double check. Okay, I know there is a tendency for a bit of discrepancy. Okay, just to make sure. Yes, that's right. Okay, so this is to contrast between just before the chorus and then at the end of the chorus. So here, yes, so it's a skipping rhythm followed by a straight rhythm. Okay, let's try one more time. Okay, from the top of the page. No, 1, 2, 3. I shall never get sight of the gates of life if the way of the cross I miss. Yes, that's right. Okay, so without stopping. Okay, without stopping from the top of the hymn. Oh, so 1, 2, 3. I must needs go home by the way of the cross. There's no other way but this. I should never get sight of the gates of life if the way of the cross I miss. Yes, that's right. Excellent. All right, altos. Okay, on to you. Okay, so you start with me. Those. Do, mi. Okay, mi, fa, mi, fa, mi. Fa, mi, so, la, so la. Okay, and then there's a accidental. Okay, la, si, la, fa, mi, la, si, la, fa, mi. Okay, the E flat, the E flat becoming a E natural over here. So la, si, la, fa, mi. Okay, let's try that. Okay, from the top of the page. Do, mi, 1, 2, 3. I must needs go home by the way of the cross. There's no other way but this. Yes, one more time. Do, mi, 1, 2, 3. I must needs go home by the way of the cross. There's no other way but this. Okay, and then we go on to the second page. Okay, so same note. Mi, fa, so, fa, mi, so, fi, so, or rather, so, fi, so. Okay, apologies for that. Okay, so again, there's the accidental over here. Okay, the D natural, D flat becoming the D natural. Right, from the top of the page. Do, mi, 1, 2, 3. I shall never get sight of the gates of life if the way of the cross I miss. Yes, that's right. Okay, and of course, make sure you end up with the same note as the sopranos. Okay, the so. Okay, of course, they're saying, with the way of the cross I miss. Okay, and your cross I miss. Okay, end up in the same note. All right, without stopping from the top of the hymn. Do, mi, 1, 2, 3. I must needs go home by the way of the cross. There's no other way but this. I shall never get sight of the gates of life if the way of the cross I miss. Okay, excuse me, I wasn't very clear at the end. Okay, one more time, just from the second page. me, 1, 2, 3. I shall never get sight of the gates of light if the way of the cross I miss. Yes, that's right. Okay, excellent. Okay, guys, on to you. Do. Okay, excuse me, tenors. Okay, do, sol, la, so, do, fa, do. Okay, ready? Do, 1, 2, 3. I must needs go home by the way of the cross. There's no other way but this. That's right. Okay, one more time. Do, 1, 2, 3. I must needs go home by the way of the cross. There's no other way but this. Yes, good. Okay, and then do, so, I shall never get sight. Okay, so, ti, do, ti, re, do, ti, do. Yes, okay, so don't forget you have one more note over here. Okay, so take note for the song leaders. Okay, do give them the cue, and of course, as you can see right here, okay, the basses have even they have one more note. In fact, okay, so the song leaders, okay, do take note to continue to beat the pattern, all right. In fact, and to give an additional cue for the tenors, okay, just to make it doubly clear, right? So what I would do is, okay, if the way, let's say if you're singing the soprano part, if the way of the cross I miss, okay, I miss. So give them a miss, give them an additional push there. Okay, may not be that necessary, because sometimes in the heat of things might be a little bit difficult, but nevertheless, okay, do continue to beat the rest of the bar instead of way of the cross I miss. Okay, then maybe might not be that clear. Okay, so it'll be better if you continue to beat the rest of the bar. Okay, tenors, one more time from the top of the page. Do, so, 1, 2, 3. I shall never get sight of the gates of light if the way of the cross I miss. Yes, okay, and of course it leads to the chorus. Okay, from the top of the hymn without stopping. Do, 1, 2, 3. I must needs go home by the way of the cross. There's no other way but this. I shall never get sight of the gates of light if the way of the cross I miss. And so on and so forth. Okay, good. Basses. Okay, on to you. Do. Okay, so one stretch of do there in the first line, and then mi fa do. Okay, let's try that. 1, 2, 3. I must needs go home by the way of the cross. There's no other way but this. Okay, so let's just be careful about the mi. Okay, do. Mi fa. Okay, mi fa. Okay, one more time from the top of the page. Do, 1, 2, 3. I must needs go home by the way of the cross. There's no other way but this. Carry on. Same do, re. Okay, be careful. Do, re, so, do, re, and then here, so, fa, mi. Okay, so again, as we mentioned on previous occasion, whenever you have a kind of ascending or descending scale motive, okay, that's when you kind of lead the way, either the crescendo or decrescendo. So in this case, more of a crescendo, okay? Miss the way, and so on, okay, as we go on to the chorus. Okay, so from the top of the page, okay, with the lyrics. Do, 1, 2, 3. I shall never get sight of the gates of light in the way of the cross I miss. Yes, okay, and we get on. Right, so from the top of the hymn, okay, without stopping. Do, do, 1, 2, 3. I must needs go home by the way of the cross. There's no other way but this. I shall never get sight of the gates of life if the way of the cross I miss. Yes, right, and then we go on to our chorus. Okay, back to the subs. Though so the way of the cross leads home. Okay, and then so do mi sa. Okay, the way of the cross leads home. Yes, okay, so fairly straightforward. Okay, one more time for the top pitch. So me, okay, 1, 2, 3. The way of the cross leads home. The way of the cross leads home. Okay, good. And then, okay, second pitch of chorus. Me, me. Okay, now again, be careful. It's back to the straight rhythm. Okay. It is sweet to know as I onward go. Okay, so in fact, you can begin a slight retard in anticipation of the pause. Okay, onward go. Okay, just a touch, and then the way of the cross leads home. Yeah. Okay, so from the song leader's perspective, okay, you want to cut off the congregation after the pause, right? Onward go the way. Okay, and then with the, so instead of the way, okay, this is kind of awkward, right? So you use the cue to the next note as kind of like a cut off, right? The way of the cross leads home. Okay, so that's something that you can do, okay, to make your direction a little bit clearer. Okay, so the congregation knows exactly how long you want the pause to be. Okay, so cut off for the first one, and then the second one, okay, use the following beat, following note, okay, as a cut off together. Okay, one more time from the second page. Do me. Okay, 1, 2, 3. It is sweet to know as I onward go, the way of the cross leads home. Yes, that's right. Okay, back to the chorus again. Okay, without stopping. So 1, 2, 3. The way of the cross leads home. The way of the cross leads home. It is sweet to know as I onward go. The way of the cross leads home. Yes, that's right. Excellent. Okay. Okay, going back to the altos. Do so fa mi re do re mi fa. Okay, the way of the cross leads home, leads home. All right. So you notice that both the altos, tenors, and the basses have kind of like an accompaniment effect. So I would suggest a little bit more, just a bit more articulation, okay, to, just to make the word come through better, right? So, fa mi, the way of the cross leads home, leads home. Okay, just give it a bit of nudge there. Leads home, and then mi so do, the way of the cross leads home, leads home. Okay, same thing, right? So once again from the top of the page. Fa mi, ready, 1, 2, 3. The way of the cross leads home, leads home. The way of the cross leads home, leads home. Yes, that's right. Okay, carry on. So, it is sweet to know as I onward go. The way of the cross leads home. Yes, that's right. Okay, so same thing in the pause. Do, do, then do, la, la, so, so, so. Okay, one more time from the top page. So, 1, 2, 3. It is sweet to know as I onward go, the way of the cross leads home. Yes, that's right. Okay, without stopping from the top of the chorus. Far me the way. Okay, 1, 2, 3. The way of the cross leads home. Excuse me. Fa mi so 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 la so. Okay, 1, 2, 3. The way of the cross leads home, leads home. The way of the cross leads home, leads home. It is sweet to know as I onward go. The way of the cross leads home. Yes, that's right. Okay, excellent. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Okay, gentlemen, back to you. Okay, so the tenors, you begin with a T. Do, T. Okay, the way of the cross leads home, leads home. The way of the cross leads home, leads home. Okay, so it's just basically the T and then the Do and Mi and that Fa over there towards the end. Okay, so one more time. T, 1, 2, 3. The way of the cross leads home, leads home. The way of the cross leads home, leads home. Yes. Okay, and of course not forgetting, okay, because the guys, you have kind of like a leading on to that chorus. So, okay, so for the tenors, you have the do, do, ti, 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 re, do, ti, do. The way of the cross leads home. Okay, so be careful about that. Okay, so we take it from there. If the way of the cross. Okay, 1, 2, 3. If the way of the cross I miss, the way of the cross leads home, leads home. The way of the cross leads home, leads home. Yes, that's right. Okay, and then carry on. Do, same back to do. It is sweet to know do, do, re, re, re. Ti, ti, do, ti, do. Do, 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 fa, mi. Yes, that's right. Okay, from the top of the page with the notes. Sorry, with the words. Do, 1, 2, go. It is sweet to know as I onward go. The way of the cross leads home. Yes, that's right. Okay, without stopping. Okay, let's take the last line. Do, do, ti. Okay, 1, 2, 3. If the way of the cross I miss, the way of the cross leads home, leads home. The way of the cross leads home, leads home. It is sweet to know as I onward go. The way of the cross leads home. Yes, that's right. Excellent. All right, basses. Back to you. Okay, so now again, you have that nice descending scale. Miss, right over here. Miss the way. Okay, yes. So basically a descending scale, right? So fa mi re do. Okay, miss the way of the cross leads home, leads home. Okay, just don't just don't forget to miss too much, and miss. Okay, oops. Okay, so it's miss the way, right? Though be careful to come back with the lyrics. Okay, just double check your pitch. Go. Okay, so once more. Miss, the way of the cross leads home, leads home. The way of the cross leads home, leads home. Okay, that's right. Okay, one more time from the previous page. Miss, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Miss, the way of the cross leads home, leads home. The way of the cross leads home, leads home. Okay, that same thing, second page. It is sweet to know do do so 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 do re mi. Fa, mi, fa, fa, so, so, do. Okay, good. Okay, from top of the page. Do, so, ready, go. It is sweet to know as I onward go. The way of the cross leads home. Okay, just be careful of this last line over here. So, fa, mi, fa, fa, so, so, do. Okay, so be careful. Take note of where the fa, where it changes to the fa. Okay, fa, mi, fa, fa, so, so, do. Okay, once more from the top of the page. Do, 1, 2, 3. It is sweet to know as I onward go. The way of the cross leads home. That's right. Okay, without stopping from the top of the chorus. Okay, bases. Okay. Do, okay, and of course we take from the bar before. Do, mi, so, miss. 1, 2, 3, go. Miss, the way of the cross leads home, leads home. The way of the cross leads home, leads home. It is sweet to know as I onward go. The way of the cross leads home. That's right. All right. Well done, everybody. Okay. I hope that you have learned some of the finer points of this hymn. Okay. So now, as usual, we will sing the hymn, the first verse, once more.
I must needs go home by the way of the cross. There's no other way but this. I shall ne'er get sight of the gates of light if the way of the cross I miss. The way of the cross leads home, leads home. The way of the cross leads home, leads home. It is sweet to know as I onward go. The way of the cross leads home.
Amen and amen. Certainly, we are so grateful for the great privilege and honor, okay, for Jesus Christ to come our way, to die on a cross, and show us the way of the cross. That yes, if we were to stick by straight and narrow, not turn to the left or the right, will lead us finally to a heavenly home above with God forever. Alright, so thank you once again for joining us this evening. Okay, this has been Singing Sunday, brought to you by the Jurong Church of Christ. My name is Paul Go. Very happy to be sharing this platform with you. Alright, so again, I'd like to extend an invitation to you to join us in our worship services, okay, at 120 Boon Lay Drive. Okay, we actually start the morning at 9 a.m. with our Bible classes, okay, and this is for all ages, including the babies, okay, what we call the cradle roll, although they start at 9:30. Okay, but all the rest of classes start at 9. Okay, we will begin with singing, and then before we split to our respective classes. Okay, and after that we reconvene at 10:30 for the worship service proper. Okay, and we are also live streaming our service via Facebook and YouTube. Okay, so if for one or another, if you're not able to make it, or you're not able to join us physically, or let's say if you are overseas and maybe it's not convenient to worship with a congregation, okay, you're most welcome to tune into our live streams. Okay, and also we have our midweek evening Bible class on Wednesdays at 7:30, again for all ages except for the cradle roll. Okay, so you're most welcome to join us on Wednesday evenings. All right, and we have our ongoing snippets. Sorry. Okay, can you hear me? Okay. Yes. Okay. So our ongoing snippets on our Facebook as well YouTube feeds. Okay, and there's Motivating Monday as well as Tuesday tips. And this time round, we have Brother Roger Campbell to present the Timeless Treasures. Okay, which is a study based on 2 Peter. Okay, so new episodes will be aired at 8 a.m. Okay, every Monday and Tuesday. So do tune in. Okay, to get that boost for your mornings. Okay, of course, not forgetting where we'll be most glad. We don't want you to go away with any questions unanswered, any doubts uncleared. So if you would still like to study the Bible more with us, we are most happy to organize a personalized Bible study with you. Okay, either in person at our church building or any other place that's convenient for you. Okay, or we can also do it online via any of the online platforms. Okay, so please, we like to encourage you, okay, to reach out to us, okay, and we will have a Bible answer for your Bible questions. All right, so once again, very thankful for you to join us this evening. Okay, this has been Singing Sunday, brought to you by the Jurong Church of Christ. Okay, my name is Paul Goh. Okay, very happy to be sharing this platform with you, and I trust that this has been beneficial to you. All right, and yes, it is already June, right? It's almost half a year has gone, and certainly, COVID, has become kind of part and parcel of our lives. Okay, and I guess that is the way things are. But nevertheless, we would like to continue to keep one another in our prayers. I know, in likelihood, you probably already know, maybe every other person that you know has already come down with COVID. So, but nevertheless, we thank God that so far the disease has been under control. Okay, and the symptoms has been relatively mild. Okay, but nevertheless, do keep one another in prayers. Okay, and we hope that you have a great week ahead, and we will see you soon. Thank you, and good night.